Well, good evening, everybody. Let's see, Miss Sullivan is away today, so you guys get to have me running the meeting. So before we start, I'd like to just announce that we are live captioning our meetings. Please look in the chat window of our WebEx meeting where you will find a link. Please click on that link to open the web page with the live captioning. Okay, at this time, I call to order the April 26, 2022 board meeting of the Maricopa County Community College District Governing Board. For the record, I'll call roll of the board members. First, we'll start with our student trustee, Quentin Evans. Quentin, are you here?
Present.
Right. Ms. Bittersmith, are you, I know she might be a few minutes late, but are you here yet?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Welcome.
Okay.
Ms. McGrath?
Present.
Great. Ms. Smith, Jacqueline Smith?
Present.
Great. Dr. Thor?
I'm present.
Welcome. Ms. Nguyen? Ms. Nguyen? Oh, okay. And Ms. Sullivan, in case she was able to get on? No? So with that, with me here, that's 5. That's a quorum. So we'll get started. Let's see. There's no substitutions for tonight, so we'll start with the Executive Council report by Dr. Sasha Radich. Verbal report on elephants and decision makings. Welcome, Dr. Radich. We look forward to your report tonight.
Good evening, everyone. My year as president of the Faculty Association flew by quickly, and tonight I give my last address to you. As I reflect on it all, my thoughts keep drifting to the Indian parable of the 6 blind men and the elephant. Encountering an elephant for the first time ever, the men touch the creature to try to learn what it is. The one who feels its side says that an elephant is like a wall. The one who feels its tusk counters, no, it's actually like a spear. The one who feels its tail argues that it's like a rope, and so forth. After the elephant leaves, they have a lengthy and heated argument about the issue, with each man certain that he alone knows the truth. I don't remember the story's exact ending, but I believe it involved filing a resolution of controversy, followed by expensive third-party mediation. Although thousands of years have passed since its writing, this ancient story's message still remains relevant today. Since we each only see a small piece of our big and complicated world, we shouldn't expect that our limited experience paints the complete picture. To fully understand any situation, we need to get input from all the different vantage points. Additionally, disagreements don't always mean that someone is right and someone else is wrong. Often, it means that both viewpoints are simply incomplete. In the world of higher education, this concept is neatly summarized in the phrase shared governance. While the common interpretation of shared governance revolves around decision-making authority, the core idea really comes back to the 6 blind men and the elephant. No one person has enough information to fully understand any situation, but we can't make wise choices without that understanding. Shared governance says that we should gather input from as many different angles as possible to build a complete picture of the situation before we decide how to proceed. Luckily for Maricopa, Chancellor Stephen Gonzalez sees shared governance not as a box to check, but as a philosophy to embrace. He has the humility to admit that he doesn't know everything. Sorry for letting the cat out of the bag, Chancellor. And he has the wisdom to get the vital missing information from others before making his decisions. Better still, he's proselytizing about shared governance throughout the district, and as the philosophy spreads, it's causing our decisions to improve. As just one example, consider Maricopa's budget process. We used to choose budgets with a level of secrecy that fell somewhere between Masonic rituals and nuclear launch codes. I've literally heard college presidents tell me that they would learn their own college's financial allocation for the next year while listening to the governing board budget presentation. Chancellor Gonzalez changed all that. Last year, he created the Advisory Budget Council to bring a collaborative approach to our district's budgeting process. By construction, the council brings together administrators from both the district office and the individual colleges, as well as faculty and staff to help craft the district's budget. By increasing the diversity of viewpoints, our budget process immediately began to benefit. New perspectives raised new questions, which led to new data analyses, which led to new revelations, which took the budget in new directions. The budget proposal you're currently considering changed dramatically as a result of this shared governance, with our deeper understanding of underlying issues molding the shape of the budget to better fit the actual needs of our district. We're able to present you with a wiser budget because we are wiser when we work together. This year, I have been overjoyed to see our district's pool of wisdom swell as the decision makers poured in the input from many talented and hardworking faculty members. I've been delighted to see those decision makers also splash in the perspectives of our phenomenal staff under the wildly talented leadership of Shannon Monge and Anna Chandler. I've even had the honor of adding my own drop of wisdom to the district's ample pool. I can't wait to see how this dramatic expansion of our perspective transforms our decision-making process in the future. But I plan to be around to see it bear fruit. As I said earlier, this is my last governing board address as Faculty Association president, but I'm not saying goodbye. I'll be around. One more drop in the pool of our collective wisdom, one more voice in our shared governance chorus. So, rather than saying goodbye, let me instead offer up a traditional American farewell between people who plan to reunite soon. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Thank you now and always for your time.
Well, thank you, Dr. Radich. That was great. I appreciate the parable and the song. Thank you. Next up, we have the Adjunct Faculty Association report. Notification from Dr. Teresa Train states that a written report was submitted and is attached. She does not require speaking time on the agenda tonight, so thank you, Dr. Train. Next up, we have the employee representation update with Ms. Shannon Monge and Ms. Anna Chandler. Welcome, both of you. We look forward to your report tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Narini. Members of the board, Chancellor Gonzalez, members of CEC and guests. My name is Shannon Monge, and I'm an administrative assistant for academic affairs at PVCC. I am before you today as the co-president for employee representation. My colleague Anna Chandler is spending a well-deserved night off with loved ones and family at a baseball game tonight. So I have the great pleasure of doing this presentation with my colleague and the VP of Employee Representation, Josh Moss. He will introduce himself later. We have a lot of gratitude to get to, so let's get started. Next slide, please. We would like to give a huge shout out and thank you to Paradise Valley Community College for hosting this year's DAC Awards. I had the pleasure of attending in person, and it was a wonderful event. It was held in a safe manner. I know there were concerns with COVID. We were social distance. We had masks for those that needed them. And overall, it was just wonderful. A big shout out goes to the team that helped organize and kept everybody on track all day. Dr. Versha Anderson, Lori Espinoza, and Camila Ole Rodriguez. They did a phenomenal job. As you'll see in the photo and the list of names in front of you, there were many people involved. We had student speakers, wonderful MCs, our facilities, IT and catering team did a wonderful job. Our panels, our student groups, we had leadership in attendance, Dr. Paul Dale, Dr. Eric Lashinsky, and Dr. Klein Namuo, as well as governing board member Dr. Tom Narini. I was so grateful that we were able to have this event in person as well as a hybrid option. Thank you to all that hosted and held that event. And thank you to the different DAC community members that came forward with their wonderful, innovative ideas. I just can't say enough on how happy I was to celebrate with all of them. Next slide, please. As some of you may have seen, Chancellor Gonzalez was honored with the Among Most Admired Leaders of 2022. As you have heard from Anna and I, we have learned so much under his leadership that he does not take ownership for that solely by himself. I would like to read a quote from the article that was published. While I am personally honored, this is more of a reflection of every employee I have the honor of working alongside each and every day. Over the last 2 years, our employees showed up day in and day out during some trying times with a laser focus on the students and the communities we serve. Their unwavering commitment and the support of our governing board are what make the Maricopa Community Colleges special, and I look forward to our continued impact on those we serve. The accomplishments during my tenure have only been possible due to the extraordinary faculty and staff of the Maricopa Community Colleges, so I share this honor with all of them. Elsa, if you can go just a little bit down on the slide, you'll see the link to the news article there. If you can capture that, I really suggest you go and read that. This speaks to the great leader that we have in our chancellor. It has been an honor to work with him, and I look forward to working with him in the future. Next slide, please. A huge shout out goes out to Dr. Mark Cohen, who is a public sector Orby winner. Congratulations, Dr. Cohen. When I went to the website to learn more about this honor, I could see Dr. Cohen written all over it. The Orby Award is synonymous with the excellence the award represents, meticulously handcrafted from steel and crystal. Symbols of honor and achievement. The Orby signifies exceptional leadership, innovation, and vision, representing the characteristics and qualities that inspire others to achieve their potential. If that's not our Dr. Mark Cohen, I don't know who is. Congratulations, Dr. Cohen. If we could, I would tell everybody to stand up and give you a round of applause. Next slide, please. As you all know, this announcement was made, but is with a heavy heart that we finally have to celebrate Dr. Paul Dale's retirement. There is a farewell celebration happening on Wednesday, May 4th at 2 p.m. at PVCC's campus in the Center for the Performing Arts. Something that is very near and dear to Dr. Dale's heart is our ACE program. As we bid Dr. Paul Dale farewell, please consider supporting a student scholarship fund near and dear to his heart. He is passionate about supporting student participation in the ACE program. The scholarship empowers high school students to go beyond their comfort zone, develop skills to attend college, and plan rewarding futures while maintaining their high school classes. Because we are a community of people who have served alongside Dr. Dale, let's help him leave a lasting legacy at PVCC. You will see the link on the screen if you would like to donate to the ACE scholarship in honor of Dr. Dale, and we hope that you all will be able to attend his session and give him the farewell that he definitely deserves. You will be very, very much missed, Dr. Dale, but your retirement is well deserved, and I hope you enjoy the next chapter in your life. Next slide, please. A shout out goes to our 21-22 Innovation of the Year district-wide winner, Academic and Student Success Integrated Technology, otherwise known as ASSIST, from the district office. What a surprise that Dr. Mark Cohen is part of that in this IT initiative. I got to watch the presentation online, and I'm so very proud of all the innovations that were submitted, and a huge congratulations to ASSIST. You can see the paragraph in front of your screen. It's also part of the board agenda, so I won't bore you with my voice and read it all, but I am so looking forward to what ASSIST can do for our staff, faculty, and our students. Congratulations to the ASSIST team, Mark Cohen, Joseph Licata. Oh my God, I'm so horrible with names, so I apologize. Michelle Augustinelli, Lori Lindenberg, and Brent Wickman. Next slide, please. Thank you all very much. I will now turn it over to my colleague, Josh Moss.
Thank you so much, Shannon. Members of the board, Chancellor Gonzalez, members of CEC and guests, my name is Josh Moss. I currently work as a student services analyst in admissions and records at Paradise Valley Community College, and I have the privilege of serving as Vice President of Employee Representation. Like it was said, I'm filling in tonight for Anna, so thank you for having me. This month, we are recognizing our Gateway Community College employee representatives. Mario Salinas currently serves as exempt member and senator for the college, while Dan Johnson and Patricia Kirchner also represent exempt staff. Next slide, please. Representing our non-exempt staff, we have Michelle Ray, Stephanie Martinez, and Anissa Iwamoto. And representing Gateway sworn officers is Joliska. Thank you for an amazing year of representation and advocacy for your staff, and we greatly appreciate the representatives at Gateway Community College. Next slide, please.
Did we lose you?
Dr. Narini, this is Shannon. I will go ahead and continue the presentation.
Okay,
Josh,
thank you.
do not hear you right now, but if you do chime in, I will happily mute again. Our return to in-person and remote work is heavily on the mind of our staff and faculty. As we move forward to coming out of the pandemic, if and when that time can happen, most campuses have begun the conversation and look forward to implementing the remote work policy either for upcoming summer or fall term. We as representation are excited to work collaboratively with Maricopa leadership and our college presidents to engage in open-minded, progressive, and sustainable conversations and moving us forward in the remote work. Next slide, please. We would like to share with all our colleagues, community members, guests, students, that we have a lot of end-of-year celebrations coming up, and we are so happy to celebrate our graduates. You guys have worked so hard and deserve this. You will see in front of you that we have affinity group convocations coming up in the next couple of weeks. You can go to Maricopa's website to sign up and register. They are open to students, staff, and faculty to attend. We hope that you go and celebrate our wonderful, diverse group of students. Next slide, please. The final Spring 2022 Culture and Humility Hour will be held virtually on May 4th at 12:15, The Roots of American Democracy. There is a virtual link on calendar invites. If you do not have those, please reach out to one of your local reps or affinity groups, and they'll be able to share that information with you. That is our presentation, Dr. Narini. If there's any questions or anything, otherwise we are done for the evening. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you. I always appreciate the positive, upbeat reports that you give. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
All right, and next up we have the student life report. So I'm thrilled to hear from South Mountain Community College, who will be presenting tonight. Let's see, there's a group of folks. Mr. Ralph Thompson, the student service director. I'll let you introduce your presenters tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Narini. To Dr. Sullivan in her absence, Dr. Narini, governing board members, Dr. Olson, our college president. I'm Ralph Thompson, and I'm the interim director of student life and leadership here at South Mountain Community College. We are excited to showcase Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. And so I'm going to hand it off to Dr. Carol Smith, who is the advisor to the Phi Theta Kappa, and share all of the great work that Phi Theta Kappa is doing in honor of South Mountain Community College. Dr. Smith.
Thank you very much, Mr. Thompson. Really appreciate it. Good evening, Dr. Narini, and in honor of President Sullivan, members of the board, Chancellor Gonzalez, Dr. Olson, members of the CEC and guests. It is my great pleasure as the PTK coordinator and advisor at South Mountain Community Colleges to introduce just a few of our outstanding members and officers of the Alpha Eta Delta chapter of Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society here at South Mountain Community College. Nationwide, 92% of students who are involved in PTK go on to be successful at universities and in the workforce, as it presents a solid foundation for students to grow professionally and academically. So our officer team today is honored to present to you a brief overview of their chapter's accomplishments and experiences. With no further ado, we have Markira Salazar, Bob Durham, April Famoso, and Luis Soto here. Markira Salazar, our chapter president, will begin the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Smith. I am Markira Salazar, chapter president. And next slide, please. PTK Honor Society represents the four pillars: scholarship, leadership, fellowship, and service. PTK International Honor Society was founded in 1918. This organization recognizes and honors students of their achievements and contributions to support their students. PTK is meant to bring us together to support each other's dreams that they want to achieve. This organization provides the necessary resources to support our students not worrying about paying for college, in which they offer scholarships at the associate's, graduate, and master's degree level. And next slide, please. I'll hand this off to April. Thank you.
April?
All
Okay,
right.
April, are you there? Go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes,
Go
go right ahead.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is April Famoso, and I'm the Vice President of Scholarship. I recently joined PTK last year, and shortly after, I became an officer. I'm the current All-AZ Award winner for 2022, along with Antron, who has moved on forward with his studies into university. So the All-AZ Award has given me the opportunity to choose from 3 universities here in Arizona, including ASU, U of A, and NAU, with a free tuition waiver. This is highly important to me because not all of us students who want to achieve and acquire a degree have the resources available to pay for our schooling. This waiver takes a great amount of stress from us, and we can instead invest this money in other courses that we pursue on taking. Overall, I'm highly honored and thankful for what this award will do for me. Thank you, everyone. And our next presenter would be Luis. Next slide, please.
Thank you, April. My name is Luis Soto. I'm the newly elected Vice President of Service. PTK was very inspiring because making connections have been shown to affect your sense of well-being. This is possible because it breaks down the stereotypes of what it's like to be a scholarly student. I had the chance to interact with a diverse group of people, some from my region. I also saw our very own Dr. Ortega was honored as Distinguished Administrator, and that was exciting. On a more personal note, I had a chance to meet candidates for Division Vice President, which was the most impactful for me. It gave me a chance to meet Calvin Emerson, a gay, neurodiverse individual, much like myself, and that was empowering. Next slide, please. Aside from making connections, the educational forums were very helpful in self-development. For example, using critical thinking to separate fact from fiction, which overviewed better research methods to facilitate more credible sources and avoiding biases was very helpful. I'm grateful that Catalyst made me feel connected, and I hope that all the pillars are presented here. Next slide, please. The next speaker will be Markira Salazar, our chapter president.
Thank you, Luis. One of the highlights of PTK Catalyst is having the honor of being the flag bearer for the Arizona region during the general session. Next slide, please. The lessons I took away from PT Catalyst was I met other fellow PTK members from out of the state and even outside of the country, and this gave me the chance to hear their stories and experiences of being a PTK member at their college. And I as well as it was such an honor to participate in Haley on Phillips' campaign running for for Division 4 International Officer. This gave me the opportunity to know what it means to run for international office, and it gave me the opportunity to learn about the process and the hardships she went through and the leadership it took. And I learned about the educational forms as well, and I learned a lot more about the projects that we have been conducting, such as the HIA project and the college project. And these projects really benefit our community and the college, and this supports our students. And I also learned what it means to be a leader and in the hardships that a leadership would go through and how to manage a team, such as a chapter, David. And that will be it. Thank you. Next slide, please. And the regional rewards and stories. It's an honor to win these rewards at the Alpha Eta Delta chapter. Next slide, please. We have won the following rewards. We have won the Distinguished Chapter Award, the Distinguished Chapter Officer Team. Next slide, please. The College Project Reward, and next slide, please. 2 Chapter Officer Rewards as well. Thank you, and I'll hand this off to Bob, our next officer.
Thank you very much. I'm here to talk about our college project for just a second. So back in spring of 2021, the Alpha Eta Delta chapter began work on an application for a federal CARES grant in order to fund a tech-related project for the school that had that incorporated pandemic safety requirements. Over the course of the next few months, the idea grew to include potential virtual reality and augmented reality or artificial intelligence elements. In the fall, after the chapter successfully filled out the paperwork for that grant, we voted and decided to try to make an augmented reality application for South Mountain Community College that would assist students in navigating to class. Some of the prerequisites that we wanted for this application were that it would be developed in Unity, because Unity is freely available. There's a community edition that is accessible to anybody who has a desktop computer. So students would be able to kind of get into the actual code of this project and see how it's put together and how it's built, which is pretty awesome because augmented reality is a relatively new tech, and it is definitely an expanding industry. So giving students an opportunity to see how something like this works can be really valuable to our computer information students. So we are really excited that in the next, probably within a matter of weeks, we're actually going to be releasing this on both Android and iPhone. Next slide, please. If you want to press play, there's a short video that shows you the 3D avatar that we are going to be putting into augmented reality space right there. The premise with this avatar is that we're going to create just AR experiences. So basically little snippets, little places on campus where you can pull out your phone, and through the camera, you'll be able to see that avatar kind of interact with you and give you information about campus, about the campus. Like there's a mandala amphitheater on campus, and it talks about when that was built and the cultural representations that are reflected in the actual art, and as well as mentions facts about the SMCC library and the PAC building. But it also is going to incorporate pandemic elements. So we are going to encourage mask requirements or mask recommendations. We have a link to the Maricopa pandemic information website so the students can get up-to-date and relevant information on what's going on campus. And it also has a survey section built into it that will allow us to acquire a little bit of data from students non-invasively as they use the app as a tool to help them succeed on campus. Next slide, please. And I believe I'm turning it back over to Markera.
Actually, that's me. Our induction is live this year on April 28, 2022 at 6 p.m. This is our first in-person event. We're excited to honor our officers, chapter achievements, and new members. Thank you. Next slide, please. I'll hand it off to Markera.
you, Louis. We want to give a special thank you to these people, and know that all of this wouldn't have been possible without these amazing individuals. Thank you. Next slide, please.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. That was great. I really appreciate the update. Before we get on to the awards and recognitions, I want to welcome Ms. Nguyen. I think she's on the call now. Ms. Nguyen, are you here? Oh, all right. Well, moving right along. So tonight we have the Emeritus Awards and Recognitions. Tonight we have 5. As we begin to establish a new normal processes across our system, one area we have been returning to is recognizing the outstanding contributions of our faculty as they retire from our system. Following the board meeting in which we have honorees, we will include an article recognizing the recipients in the Maricopan newsletter that will be included with a short profile. Our board assistants will forward the newsletter to all recipients. We are hopeful that we will be able to celebrate distinctions in a more formal manner sometime in the near future. So next up, we have a Chancellor's report. Dr. Gonzalez, are you ready for your report?
Yes, I am, Dr. Narini, and thank you.
Thank you.
So Dr. Narini, board members and guests, members of CEC and guests that are with us this evening, there's a two-part presentation to my report. One will be a legislative update, and then we will follow that up with a report out on the work of the Shared Governance Task Force, provide an update to the process and recommendations. Before I begin, I'd really like to express my gratitude to Dr. Radisich for his leadership this past year. I appreciate his commitment to collaboration and help around shared governance as well. And so he's going to be missed as the Faculty Senate President, and we'll find ways to continue to keep him plugged into our good work. So thank you, and I also appreciate the accolades that you provided. And I also want to extend my gratitude to Ms. Anna Chandler and Shannon Manji on what they shared related to my receiving of that honor. So I too thank them for their leadership and participation. I've learned a lot from these 3 leaders that I've just mentioned, and shared governance affords us an opportunity for my personal philosophy to really blossom, and that's the belief that anyone can lead from any place in the organization. And if we truly believe that we all play a role in the recruitment and retention of our students, the primary reason that we're here, then we need to have the multiple voices at the table and allow for those 2 philosophies to emerge. So that's the foundation, and shared governance is the operationalizing of that philosophy. So thank you for giving me those few minutes to speak to that. As for the legislative update, the state legislature has concluded their committee work and has shifted their focus towards developing the fiscal year 2023 state budget. The state is observing the healthiest $5 billion budget surplus in history at the moment. This excess of dollars has created a difficult path forward towards passing a budget with many differing opinions on how to spend or to not spend this $5 billion. Last week, the House published the first budget attempt, and although the 12 budget bills failed in the House Appropriations Committee, requiring them to go back to the drawing board. Maricopa Community College Government Relations Team has continued to advocate for the board's policy and budgetary priorities, including STEM funding restoration and expenditure limitation relief as part of House Bill 2017, adult education funding as a part of House Bill 2122, and nursing and behavioral workforce development as part of House Bill 2691. We keep our fingers crossed on the passage of a budget, and a budget that contains the passage of these bills. So given the current status of budget talks, there is angst that the legislative session may be another long one, potentially spanning into the month of June again. We will continue to keep you apprised as a governing board of this legislative activity and as part of the weekly snapshot that you receive from me typically every Friday morning. I'd also like to say that we had an opportunity to honor one of Maricopa's finest faculty, and that's Dr. Cyan Proctor, who was a member of the Inspiration 4 group that traveled into space several months ago with the support of Elon Musk. And we had our mayor of Phoenix, Mayor Kate Gallego, in attendance, who proclaimed April 25th moving forward as Dr. Cyan Proctor Day. So we are honored that she is a member of our faculty, and she has traveled all over the country and all over the world to speak to her experience. And while I admire many of the things that she's done with this, we've all touched space because we are associated with her. But she always remembers to mention that she is an employee of Maricopa Community Colleges and a proud faculty member at South Mountain Community College. So she certainly has not forgotten her roots. So we thank you for that, Dr. Proctor, and congratulate you once again. And thank you for serving as an inspiration to all of us. With that, I'm going to turn it over to a few people. We have Dr. Eddie Jenna, Ms. Bettina Sellis, and I believe Mr. Matt Ashcraft, who will take us through several slides on the work from the Shared Governance Task Force. So thank you, Dr. Narini. I'll turn it over to them.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. Dr. Narini, members of the board, Chancellor Gonzalez, members of CEC and guests. I'm Bettina Sellis. I have the pleasure of serving as the Associate Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. I'm here and I am one of the tri-chairs along with Matt Ashcraft and Eddie Jenna and our project manager extraordinaire, Stephanie Hoppel of the Shared Governance Task Force. Next slide, please, Elsa. So thank you for the opportunity to share an update on the work of the Shared Governance Task Force. Today we'll go through an overview of the background and the charge to the group and a blueprint of the Shared Governance framework. Next slide. So a little bit of background about the charge to the Shared Governance Task Force. In 2018, a complaint to the Higher Learning Commission alleged violations of Criterion 2, integrity, ethical, and responsible conduct. And as a result of that, the Higher Learning Commission required an interim report from the Chancellor and the board about how the concerns related to Criterion 2 might be addressed by the Maricopa Community Colleges. Next slide. Within that report were some required components, which are laid out here. Number one, which was a board document and definition of and expectations for shared governance. Items A through D, a process to come to consensus, evidence of collaborative input, policies that codify decision-making authority of the board, the district administration, and faculty, and evidence that that document was shared throughout the district. Item number two were written procedures that clearly outlined a protocol for board interactions with faculty, staff, students, and administrators, a protocol for interacting with college constituencies that address conflicts in the 2017 board resolution, to address how the board would solicit input from Maricopa employees, how input is shared, and how board members would learn of operational decisions at the district and individual campuses. Next slide, please. So the next couple of slides will kind of outline a very high level of the timeline of the engagement around the shared governance work. Starting in May of 2019, when the first work session was held on this topic, to present, which kind of outlines a series of events, the establishment of our employee senate, the monitoring report as a result of Gateways, HLC visit, a number of engagements with the governing board around shared governance training and workshops. Next slide, please. Again, in 2021, board training on academic freedom and shared governance, the establishment of the faculty agreement, and then in May of last year, the establishment of the cross-functional shared governance task force, whose charge was to really establish the shared governance blueprint. We've had some initial conversations. The chancellor has shared those with you at the governing board retreat. And then we're currently in the revision and stakeholder input framework of our timeline. Next slide, please. So next steps. Tonight, the shared governance blueprint is on your agenda as an informational item. The plan will move forward for implementation, starting with the governance structures, the operationalizing of processes presented in the document, and over the course of the fall semester, the shared governance system would fully come online, including at the colleges and with updated board training and onboarding. Next slide, please. In closing, I would like to recognize and thank the work of the committee, specifically my co-chairs, Matt Ashcraft and Eddie Jenna, Stephanie Hoppel, and the 30+ members of the committee who are outlined in the blueprint, faculty, staff, and students from across the system who engaged in really thoughtful and intentional conversations about what shared governance looks like, where we have opportunities for improvement, and where we hope to be over the course of the next few years with Maricopa as we evolve and grow our shared governance processes. And with that, I will turn it back to you, Chancellor Gonzalez, and you, Dr. Narini, for any questions or comments from the board.
Dr. Gonzalez, do you have anything to add?
Dr. Narini, now I would ask that if there are any questions regarding the presentation, that would be a really good time to ask. And I do want to thank the task force that put in quite a number of hours and quite a bit of work to get this document to where it is, so that we will be able to satisfy the conditions of the HLC complaint.
Do any of the board members have any questions or comments?
Dr. Narini?
Yes, Dr. Thor.
Thank you. I want to thank this task force for the great work that they have done. I'm assuming that the next steps will involve some new or revised or expanded board policies. If that is correct, must those be in place before we submit our response to HLC?
Bettina, Eddie, or Matt, you want to respond to that?
Yes, Chancellor, this is Eddie. Dr. Narini, Dr. Thor, it could involve the implementation of extra board policies around shared governance if that was the desire of the board, but we don't believe that that step is necessary in order to satisfy the requirements laid down by HLC in the monitoring report.
Okay, that's helpful, because as I did read the document, I saw, say, in the process for addressing a board member who's violating policies, that there's much more detail to the process than currently exists in board policies. And that's what triggered my question as to whether we need to ensure that those additional steps become part of policy. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I add one more thing, Dr. Gonzalez, Dr. Thor?
Yes, please do.
It's always desirable, I think, Dr. Thor, to align all of these documents. So to the extent that you were inclined to want to do that, of course, we would be happy to assist the board and with crafting whatever type of language you might suggest to help with that alignment.
this is probably something that our policy chair, Jacqueline Smith, wants to look at.
Okay, thank you. Were there any other questions or comments from any of the board members? And Dr. Gonzalez, did you have anything else to add?
No, that would conclude my my report. One of the things I didn't mention is I had an opportunity to meet our student trustee for the first time, Mr. Quentin Evans, yesterday in person. So that was a great opportunity, and I appreciate his service on the board. He will be transitioning off, and we will be bringing on a new student soon. I believe that student may be introduced at the next governing board meeting, but I want to thank Quentin ahead of time and just say it was a pleasure to meet him in person yesterday. Thank you, Dr. Martin.
Thank you. Thank you. And once again, I'm just going to double check. I see Kathleen Wynn's name up on the screen. I just want to double check to see if she's joined us yet.
I did. I joined you at 6:35, but I didn't
Hey.
interrupt anything you were doing.
Okay, thank you.
I've been
Well,
listening. Thank you.
Hey. All right, moving on to Citizens Interim. The guidelines for Citizens Interim. This is an opportunity for members of the public to address the governing board in compliance with the open meeting law, and governing board will neither discuss nor take action on issues raised during this portion of the agenda. When necessary, issues will be taken under advisement and placed on subsequent agenda. Presenting concerns to the board and the free expression of ideas should be communicated with decorum and respect. Uncivil or disorderly conduct is not permitted. The use of derisive or insulting language or the direction of remarks that defame, attack, or harass an individual may serve as cause for the board president to direct that speaker to immediately conclude his or her remarks. A 3-minute time limit has been set, and all are asked to adhere to this limit. Tonight we have one request to speak in 2 parts from Ms. Lujan Pleasant and Ms. Naomi or Norma Lopez, who submitted part 2 of Ms. Pleasant's for Ms. Pleasant. I will do my best to read both parts in the 5-minute time limit that we've set for a combined request, which is our practice. So we'll see if we can get through this. Good evening, President Sullivan, members of the board, Chancellor Gonzalez, members of CEC, guests, and friends. My name is Lujan Pleasant. One of the most important roles of the governing board is to identify outcomes for the purpose of better serving and better accountability to its constituents, as well as to include assurances that provide oversight of the chancellor's actions or inactions. It has been approximately 1 year since I last communicated with the governing board, and 3 since I was abruptly terminated as a result of filing an EEO complaint of retaliation after being struck by my then supervisor, Laura McCray. My continuing concerns have not yet been resolved as it refers to the lack of oversight, transparency, interpretation of the policy, procedures, ethical conduct, and operations of the district's human resources and district's equal employment office. In September of last year, I had a meeting with Chancellor Gonzalez, CHRO Georgetta Kelly, and HR Director Judy Castaños regarding my request for an independent review to ensure that the internal process and procedures were followed to include my immediate termination, which was signed by then Provost Dr. Carla Fisher, who was also aware that I had filed a complaint with the MCCD Office of Equal Employment. Please read my communication to and from Provost Carla Fisher. On Sunday, February 24th, 2019 at 10:44 p.m., Lujan Pleasant wrote, "Hello, Dr. Fisher. My name is Lujan Pleasant, and I had the pleasure of meeting you at one of the transformation workshops held at the Rio Salado Conference Center last year. I'm writing to inform you that I have been terminated from my position as a student service specialist this past Thursday, February 21st at approximately 4:37 p.m. by Laura McCray and Judy Castaños. When asked the reason for my immediate termination, I was informed that because I was a, quote, specially funded short-term, unquote, the reason that a reason was not needed or required. I've been employed for the past 2 years in the Maricopa Contact Center, providing what I thought was outstanding quality student support services to our students, constituents, and community members at large. I do know that this is not your concern. However, since the letter bears your signature, I felt compelled to share this situation with you, as I was provided no forewarning to prepare for this cruel act and was informed that my last paycheck would be on Friday, March 1st, and that my medical/dental insurance would be ending on February 28th. Less than 1 week notice. I have scheduled medical and dental appointments for my family and I, and am also a single parent of 2. My oldest graduates from ASU this spring, and I have a 13-year-old daughter. I believe this action was taken against me as a result in an EEOC complaint filed on February 7th. Just sharing my dismay at the actions towards me by the Maricopa County Community College District Office. It is extremely difficult to share with your family that you are no longer employed with no specific reason other than no explanation needed. Blessings and best regards, Lawan. Continuation from Lawan Pleasant's Citizens e-communication from Carla Fisher, sent Wednesday, February 27th, 2019, 1:44 p.m. to Lawan Pleasant. Subject: termination of Lawan Pleasant. Hello, Lawan. I was aware of the termination, of course, but please know I wish you only the best in the future and thank you for your service to MCCCD. Best regards. Next section. I spoke with the Chancellor regarding the following 3 policies. District Policy 2.2, Chancellor Limitation, amended October 22nd, 2013, motion number 10112. With respect to the treatment of faculty and staff and in compliance with all federal and state laws, the Chancellor may not cause or allow conditions or procedures that are unfair, unsafe, or undignified, holding each level of management responsible for ensuring that all employment policies, procedures, and activities are in full compliance with all applicable federal, state, and local EOC statutes, rules, and regulations. And that's our 5 minutes for the citizens interim. So now we move on to consideration of consent agenda. We now move to the consideration of consent agenda items. All items under this section of the agenda are consent matters unless they are removed from the consent agenda at this time. Do any board members or Chancellor wish to remove any items from the consent agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Dr. Narini,
Yes?
this is Mrs. McGrath. I punched the wrong button. I would like to have you send that testimony from that employee, that 5 minutes to us board members. Thank you.
Okay, I'll make sure that happens. Thank you. So is there a motion to consider to pass the consent agenda?
So moved, Dr. Narini.
Okay, I heard Ms. Bittersmith.
They just held their own.
Yeah.
And the second?
Ms. Smith seconds.
Ms. Smith second. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
So that's 6-0 in favor. Moving right along to non-consent agenda action items, there are none. We move on next to first readings and information items. Number 1 is proposed fiscal year 2022-2023 budget for the first read. Second is shared governance task force recommendations, information. Third is employment and separations, February 19th, 2022 through March 18th, 2022 for information. Are there any comments or questions? Okay, moving on, monitoring reports, budget analysis fund 1, general unrestricted funds for the 9 months ending 3/31/2022. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, we move on to the community linkage, AKA governing board reports. We'll start with you, Ms. Bittersmith. What do you have to report for this last month?
Thank you, Dr. Narini. I have a couple of things, starting with both you and I actually attended the foundation board meeting earlier today, and they're looking forward to making a report to us in our May 24th board meeting. In addition, the political involvement committee, political action committee of the board has been active, as you heard earlier in Dr. Gonzalez's report. We have been monitoring specifically House Bill 2035 and House Bill 2017, dealing with the new associate degree programs that'll be provided, and very importantly, the STEM funding opportunities that can happen for us. Again, as Dr. Gonzalez alluded to, and you're seeing in the legislative reports from our legislative staff, the budget conversations and challenges prove to be an ongoing conversation that we'll be monitoring. And I agree with Dr. Gonzalez's conclusion that this perhaps could be a very long session. So we will continue, the committee meets Friday morning, and we will continue to be involved with our staff in advocating and monitoring things that are transpiring at the legislature that impact us. And with that, that is my report.
Well, thank you so much. Ms. McGrath, do you have anything to report?
No, I don't have a report, Dr. Narini. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Smith.
Hello, good evening. I wanted to share that with regard to our efforts to revise and update our board policies, following the retreat that we all had, I'm working with the chancellor and staff on getting those policies related to what was previously called chancellor's limitations, that will be called the chancellor's responsibilities, to be brought before the board at the next meeting for a first read. So just wanted to give everyone a heads up to look out for that in our next meeting. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Thor.
Thank you. It has been another busy month. The day after our last board meeting, I attended the premiere of the Rio Salado College road trip. Last fall, 3 Rio Salado students embarked on a 15-day journey to meet and interview successful Rio Salado alumni, get advice, and learn about different careers and industries. And the resulting videos are now a web series. And this was done in cooperation with Road Nation. On March 29th, I represented the board at the Artificial Intelligence Lab open house at the Chandler Gilbert Community College Williams campus. The AI Lab is a partnership with Intel and the Arizona Commerce Authority, and I was delighted to learn that the Intel CEO is a community college graduate. On March 31st, President Sullivan and I attended the Joint Employee Council meeting where we answered questions about how the board operates. It was impressive to see the level of participation and engagement from our staff employee representatives. We also heard a very interesting presentation from FEC President Sasha Radovich on differential tuition. And I hope that the full board will have the opportunity to hear the presentation in the near future. On April 8th, along with President Sullivan, Ms. Bittersmith, and Dr. Gonzalez, I attended Mayor Kate Gallego's State of the City address, and it was gratifying to hear the mayor speak of the great partnerships between the city and the college district. On April 14th, I attended Congressman Greg Stanton's State of the District address that was held at Rio Salado College and was sponsored by the Tempe Chamber. Congressman Stanton also spoke of the great work done by our colleges. On April 21st, I attended the spring luncheon of the American Association of University Women Northwest Valley branch. As you may know, various AAUW branches provide scholarships to our students, and this event included remarks from an Estrella Mountain Community College scholarship recipient who is now graduating from ASU, and she will be pursuing an advanced degree in veterinary medicine. And yesterday, I spoke on the board's behalf at the reception to honor South Mountain's Dr. Cyan Proctor on being the first Black female astronaut to pilot a spacecraft. As Dr. Gonzalez reported, Mayor Kate Gallego presented a proclamation honoring Dr. Proctor and declaring yesterday as Dr. Cyan Proctor Day in Phoenix. And as the board's representative on the General Counsel Search Committee, I have attended 3 meetings during the last month, and we're very soon going to be reviewing the candidates for that position. That concludes my report.
Well, thank you so much. Sounds like you've been busy. Ms.
I
Nguyen,
have.
Ms. Nguyen, what do you have to report?
I have no report tonight. Thank you, Dr. Narini.
Great, thank you. And for my report, let's see. As Ms. Monge said, I attended the Diversity Awards of Excellence ceremony, which we have some outstanding staff and faculty doing some outstanding things in the district. So I was really excited about that. I also got to attend the Honors Council Scholarship Reception at Rio Salado. And I think one of the best things about us going to having more baccalaureate's degree is we get to keep some of these fantastic students for a couple of years longer, because we had some outstanding students receiving their awards and scholarships. Along with President Sullivan, I attended the Arizona Small Business Development Center dinner reception. And then the next day we had the award ceremony luncheon at the state capitol. And so that was a lot of fun to see some of the great work that we're doing in that arena. And finally, most importantly, I want to thank Dr. Levy and Dr. Weitzel from South Mountain for all their help they gave me this month. And again, to Cheyenne, one of the chat people on the chat line, I got onto the Phoenix College chat page to just ask a general question and got some wonderful help from Cheyenne. So with that concludes my report. Next up, we have our next meeting date, May 17th, 2022. We have a work session and an agenda review, which will be virtual at 4:30, followed by an executive session via WebEx events. May 24th, 2022, we'll have a public hearing, truth and taxation, special sessions, and a regular board meeting at 6:30. With that, do we have a motion to adjourn? Do we need a motion to adjourn? In that case,
Dr. Narini, I move that we adjourn.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you so much, everybody. And until next time, have a good evening.